MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
I'm Jolie Salee in Bozeman, where people are struggling to juggle the rising costs of just about everything in town. And now on top of this, you can expect to see your utility bill getting even more expensive than it already is. I visited the HRDC to find out how they're helping people. Coming up.
I'm John Riley. The Artemis 1 moon rocket is getting ready to launch later this month. A Montana educator has been selected by NASA to see it take off and share that experience with her community.
All right, 6:31 on this Thursday. Chet Lehman, Matt Elbow with you here. A little smoke, a little cloud
a little
in the
haze
sky there, a
out
little
there.
haze. Yeah, that's been kind of lingering around
And
for
you know,
weeks
I think
now.
that we've been really lucky
We
in
have.
Montana. I mean, we have major fires not far away,
Right.
and we're not dealing with significant smoke issues as of yet.
Right. And we haven't seen a ton of lightning
No.
like we could have either, which has been positive.
And that's probably going to shift here
Yeah.
over the next few days. We are getting into a little more active pattern, so that's kind of what that's why I'm here.
Yes, well, that's why you are here.
Temperatures into the 50s this morning. Temperatures have been cooling down a little bit early on. Still fairly warm for much of the area to start the morning. We are looking at a full sunshine kind of day for us, and that means that once again our daytime highs near 90 degrees, which is a pretty hot one for us. Remember, we're going to be dealing with pretty dry conditions for the next day or so, but we're going to get into that more active pattern. I'm going to talk about rain chances, where we stand for rain so far for the month and year, and much more in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Matt. 6:32 now. Our budgets are getting squeezed in a lot of areas. We recently reported your electric and gas bills could soon increase. TN's Jolie Salee visited the HRDC in Bozeman to find out what resources are available.
If you've happened to notice your utility bill getting more and more expensive, you're not alone. And really, it's just one of many things in town that is getting more expensive. People are facing losing their homes as they juggle expenses, and many already have.
You've got a lot of people who are teetering on that edge of just barely making ends meet because they're trying to pay $2,000 for a two-bedroom rental and pay for their kids and their car payment and insurance and the utilities and all these other things.
At Family Promise, Zach Wangler helps people who are homeless or at risk of becoming homeless. He says they see many people choosing between paying their energy bill or paying rent. With Northwestern Energy recently requesting to raise electric rates by 15.9% and natural gas rates by 2.3%, energy prices could go even higher. HRDC's Energy Assistance Director, Sonia Wheeler.
The problem is they already are so tight in their budgets that when you raise one part of their fixed budget every month, it's just adding and adding.
One Facebook user wrote, "New realities are setting in as I'm looking for apartments. In addition to rent, you also need to look at the cost of basic utilities like water, garbage, electric, and natural gas." Another wrote, "It's getting worse. It's amazing we find ways for extracurricular activities with how difficult it is to make ends meet." To help, the HRDC provides an energy assistance program that covers about 2 to 3 months of heating bills in the winter. They're also offering an emergency loan program.
We are really trying to fill this gap to help folks to keep more in their pocket to maybe cover their rent, to cover other things.
In Bozeman, Jolie Salee, MTN News.
Thank you, Jolie. 6:34 now. Every new school year, districts across the country look to update their safety measures in the event of an active shooter. But new research shows few things have the same effect as simply performing lockdown drills. Dan Grossman visited the researchers who explain how it gives students the tools they need to think clearly when every second counts.
Lockdown. Lock, lights, out of sight.
This is a drill.
This is a simulation. One that is done countless times in countless of our kids' schools each year.
One of the best places in any room, regardless of your environmental challenges, is usually going to be the far corner on the same wall as the door.
But even though this is a simulation,
We would even check this door because the reality is I can't begin to tell you where I have found people over the last 4 years.
Jackie Schildkraut has found it's one that gives students some of the best chances of survival, not only because of what is taught, but because of the empowerment that teaching makes them feel.
So many people misconstrue lockdowns as we're teaching kids to just passively hide and pray for their futures, and we're not. We know that these are concrete steps that can help save lives in one of these events. So we want people, when we talk about being active, to stay aware of their surroundings.
Over the last 4 years, Jackie conducted the largest study of school safety in our country's history.
Very nice job, everybody.
And it found lockdown drills are some of the most effective tools to increase kids' safety. It also found hardening approaches like arming teachers were not as effective as it increased kids' anxiety, particularly among students of color.
There's a lot of emotional arguments when it comes to school safety, but we wanted to say, if we do really careful research, what will it tell us about this topic?
Amanda Nickerson is a school psychology professor who helped with the research.
Anytime we can give people some more control or agency, as you say, about what specifically to do, it can presumably help to decrease that worry and anxiety and also increase the preparedness.
Research shows anxiety decreases activity in the part of our brain associated with decision making. It's why we sometimes might feel paralyzed in unfamiliar situations. By decreasing that with preparation, Jackie and Amanda have found it gives students more control and therefore confidence that they have power in changing the outcome of a dangerous situation. The same goes for teachers like Sandra King.
It really actually makes me think. Every time we do one, I think of the what ifs. What if I didn't have a key to lock the door, or what if somebody got in the door? So I actually think of how I can keep them as safe as possible.
So the point of the drill is ultimately to build muscle memory.
Even though this is a simulation, research shows its effects are real. I'm Dan Grossman.
All right, 6:37 now. With the Inflation Reduction Act being signed into law by President Biden this week, now the question is, when will inflation actually go down? Our Joe St. George takes a closer look at the data and why this new law may do less for inflation than its name suggests.
You know, we reporters are always looking for the truth. After all, if there's one thing politicians are good at, it's political spin. Well, here's the truth about inflation and the newly signed Inflation Reduction Act. Actually reducing inflation is going to take some time, and it may have nothing to do with the law that President Biden signed earlier this week. In fact, the University of Pennsylvania's Penn Wharton budget model, which is a widely respected economic predictor, says the act would have no meaningful effect on inflation in the near term. One reason, many of the bill's policy changes, like prescription drug reform, don't begin for several years.
Thank you.
The president disagrees, believing the new law will have an impact because it decreases the deficit. White House aides have told reporters they believe lower deficits have historically helped reduce inflation. Regardless, the current inflation rate sits at around 8.5%. That means if you spent $100 in goods and services last year at this time, you're paying around $8.50 more for those same services. Currently, most economic forecasts have inflation getting back to 2 to 4%, which is more normal by the end of next year. But those forecasts say that only happens if the economy keeps slowing down. A slowing economy has drawbacks, though. For instance, companies may be less inclined to hire new employees or offer a pay raise if profits won't be as high. Higher interest rates right now mean debt, like mortgages, is more costly. Expect the inflation fight to be at the center of this year's midterm election. Many Republicans are campaigning on cutting taxes and government spending to help fight inflation. Democrats are campaigning on policies to offset the cost of inflation, like limiting how much child care costs or providing new child tax credits as the country waits for inflation to improve.
Gas prices have impacted a lot of things.
Some Americans are making some big changes. I recently met Christine Brett.
I purchased a different vehicle because I had better gas mileage than my SUV.
In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
All right, 6:39 back here at home. Yesterday, NASA moved its Artemis 1 moon rocket to the launch pad at the NASA Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The goal of the Artemis program to return to the moon. NASA plans to establish the first long-term presence there, explore more of the lunar surface than ever before, and use the information learned to ultimately send people to Mars. Now, MTN's John Riley met with a Montana educator who was selected by NASA to be there for the launch.
100 digital creators and educators from across the world have been selected by NASA to participate in the launch of the Artemis 1 rocket later this month. One of those people selected is Montana's own Sarah Filzer, Exploration Works Education Director.
Artemis 1, this launch, is historic. It is the largest rocket that we've ever launched. It's about 15% more thrust capacity than the Saturn V that took us to the moon the first time. And so it's the largest rocket. It is the beginning of a new lunar mission era. We're going back to the moon.
While there, she'll be sharing her experiences on social media about touring NASA facilities at Kennedy Space Center, meeting with rocket scientists, and seeing the launch firsthand. Sarah said she's surprised to be selected for the program, but is so glad to be able to bring these experiences back to Montana. However, if you ask Sarah's students, they're not surprised at all, given that her passion for science and excitement for teaching shines brightly in just about every interaction.
She gets to teach us what she's so passionate about, and she has so much enthusiasm and onto what she's teaching to us. And it's great for the kids and for me especially, because when I came here, I thought it was just boring old camps, but it's actually been really fun hanging out and doing things.
She's even inspired some former students to become educators themselves.
Sarah's awesome. It really, she makes everyone feel like they're part of a huge big family and that we're all working together for everything we do here.
For Sarah, she says the best part of what she does is interacting with her students, greeting them when they come to camp, answering their questions, and showing them just how much fun science can be.
When I'm, lighting my hand on fire or blowing something up, and just that smile, that laughter, that whoa, wait a second look that they get when something doesn't go like they expected it to, or even goes exactly like they expected it to, but it's still awesome.
Education is like any chemical reaction. Students react to the material that's presented to them and are changed by the process. But when you add a catalyst like Sarah Feilzer to the situation, well, that reaction can be tenfold. In Helena, John Riley, MTN News.
Awesome. What a lucky lady and a bunch of lucky kids to get to spend some time with her.